What's up, everybody? And today we are not going to be reviewing a car. We are going to be talking about the Piston Cup Productions and Disney Docket controversy that went down yesterday or so. So how this is going to work is that I'm going to give my thoughts about it. I'm going to analyze it, give my own details and thoughts about it. So let's get into it. Okay, first off, we are going to be talking about the accusing, and I know I think that sounds like a pretty strong of a word to use, but we're going to be talking about Piston Cup Productions accusing Disney Docket. So one of the things that Piston Cup Productions is accusing Disney Docket of doing is lying. One of them is about the collection TV incident, about like Disney Cars collector calling him a monster or something. I'm not quite sure, but that's one of them. The other one was that like Disney Docket manipulating him, which I don't see how he was manipulating Piston Cup Productions in any way. And another thing that he wasn't really happy about for some reason, which in my opinion shouldn't have been at all a reason to like, not like was that he kept cars in the package. Like he goes to the store and he buys like multiple singles of the same car. Like he buys 5 Sarges and he keeps them all in a package, and that apparently makes Piston Cup Productions furious that he's doing that. It's not just him that makes him furious. A lot of other people are like not happy with him. They don't like that he's doing that. But in my opinion, that's just the way he collects vehicles, because everyone has a different way of collecting. Me, the way I collect, I don't buy multiples of the same car. Well, I do sometimes. I do replace cars. Like I have 2 brand new Maters, I have 2 Saddies, I have 2 Dale car trips, have 2 Francescos. But for me, I don't really keep cars in packaging. The close I am for keeping cars in the packaging are my 2 Precision Series cars, because I keep them in a credit case. Well, I also keep my 2 Disney Store cars in my credit case. So those are the main 2 cars I keep in my packaging. But I don't see why buying multiple of the same car and keeping it in the packaging is the same problem. He also brought up that he buys the same car with different packaging details. That's apparently he's apparently not happy with that. Again, that's just the way he collects. If it's not hurting anyone, if no one's getting hurt by it, I don't see why that is an issue at all to bring up. And for the shopping, for those hunts of buying multiple cars in the same packaging, Piston Cup Production has been doing some short videos on his Instagram stories of him basically mocking Disney Docket and pretending he's Disney Docket and kind of acting disrespectful. And he says it's karma, he's throwing it back at him. But I don't see that to be karma the way I see it. The way I see it, it's like, I don't say this is the right term, but it's like adding insult to injury, because somehow him collecting cars, multiple of the same cars in different packaging, different styles of packaging, has apparently offended you or something, and you think it's a good idea to pretend to be Arctic 5 in this greedy way, and thinks that's like a good solution. And I actually talked to him about this in DMs a few months ago, and yeah, he basically said he said like it's a way to help to calm this down. I don't think that's exactly what he said. I think I'm wording it very wrongly. But anyways, that didn't really help, because like you're just like not dehumanizing but mocking. Is that if that's a good word? And me and Piston Cup Productions a few months ago when I asked him why he was mocking Disney Docket, but he was obviously Cars 5 at the time, but Disney Docket, and he showed me all these DMs and stuff. I'm not gonna show you the DMs because I don't think I have permission, and I don't even want to show the DMs anyway. But we talked about it. He called me, and we sorted things out. But there's I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, if he's okay with sharing, if he's okay with me sharing this, but he mentioned that Disney Docket made him cry and gave him anxiety attacks, which he never mentioned in the live stream. So basically, to analyze the things that he accuses Disney Docket for, he accuses him for lying to him, manipulating him, and buying multiple cars at the same time. Now we are going to be talking about the live streams that he did. He did 2 live streams, and the first thing I have to say about those streams is that the audience, the people in the chat, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, I have to say, were pretty disrespectful and weren't treating it in the right way. Like most, not all, but most of the people in that chat were like basically being very disrespectful, mostly to Disney Docket, which I can see kind of why. Like, he's being accused of lying, people being suspicious, but I don't think that's any need to like throw like disrespectful comments at him, calling him names. I just don't think the atmosphere in those chats were cheerful. They were pretty disrespectful. Piston Cup Productions did tell them a few times to like calm down, like don't swear, because there were actually like some people like swearing at him, which is very disrespectful, and they weren't treating it like appropriately. They weren't treating it appropriately. So in the first live stream, he talked about the stuff that he's accusing Disney Docket of doing, as I mentioned in the accusing part. And in the second live stream, it's basically just him trying to get Disney Docket to confirm that he was lying, he was doing these things, which he says, and in that part he said he didn't do. He left this comment in the chat. It reads, Piston Cup Production has harassed me. I do not make live streams complaining about you. I do not make you I don't mock you on Instagram, and I do not threaten to kill you. Yet you've done that to me. And he does make a valid point there. He hasn't harassed you. He hasn't made live streams complaining about your behavior. He hasn't mocked you on Instagram. He hasn't threatened you in any way. And yes, that was brought up in the first live stream that Piston Cup Productions threatened Disney Docket, and that was actually kind of a surprise to me because he didn't mention that to me in the private messages. So that came as a little shock to me, but in live stream he said he realized it was wrong. It was not the best thing. It was not the best thing to think of at the time. So I can see why he was thinking of that, because I can let that one slide, even though it's not cool to think that way. But I can kind of understand, because he's like so stressed out. He's so mad at this person. We've all been through that before, I believe. Like if we're bullied by this person at school or anywhere, we just want to like do something to them that we're like that angry. So I can kind of understand why Piston Cup Productions read that comment. So I'll show you his response.
Okay, there it is. Piston Cup Productions has harassed me. I don't make live streams complaining about you. I don't mock you on Instagram. I don't threaten to kill you. Yet you've done that all to me. All right, let me speak to that now. Okay, harassed you. Okay, so first of all, who's the one who started lying to me and using me to make Collection look bad?
Okay, so you saw that clip. In that clip, he says that he never harassed, or he hasn't harassed Disney Docket. But if you look up harass on dictionary.com, the second one says to troll by repeated attacks, incursion, etc., etc. And the first one says to distribute persistent torment as with trouble or cares, boast, bother, continually, pester, persecute. And he was kind of doing that. He was continuously pestering Disney Docket. I don't know if those mocking videos will be considered repeated attacks, but in some way he was kind of harassing, even if he doesn't know it, because sometimes we do things and we don't know, like sometimes we don't know if we're harassing that person, but we are in some way and we just don't know it. In my opinion, I would have to say that Piston Cup Productions was harassing Disney Docket in some way, even if he wasn't meaning to, because sometimes we don't mean to do that. He was harassing him in some way. Before we get into a second comment that Disney Docket left Piston Cup Productions on that chat, he keeps repeating this, freedom of speech. I have the freedom of speech. You can't stop me. True. We all have the freedom of speech. We all have the right to say something. We have the right to say whatever we want. But there's a line between freedom of speech and incorrect freedom of speech. And you brought this up many times, but in my opinion, you do have the freedom of speech, but you also have to treat people with respect with that freedom of speech. He says that Disney Docket is letting Piston Cup Productions not to speak. He's not giving them the right to speak. I don't see that anywhere. I don't see him saying, you can't speak, no. Don't talk, no. No, don't speak. I don't see him anywhere doing that. Him limiting your speech, limiting the words you get to say. But you tell Docket to not talk. So that doesn't make quite sense to argue out of freedom of speech when you don't let Disney Docket to talk in that moment.
Okay, RC, don't talk, or Disney Docket, whatever the heck you're called. Because you change your names every, like, come on, like. Yeah, you're right, Danica Blue 43. Freedom of speech, like I said a few hours ago, or minutes ago. Freedom of speech. It's my right. But yeah, you act like I can't have that right.
So, it's kind of contradicting to tell Disney Docket not to talk, and then you argue with, I have the freedom of speech, I can say what I want. As I said before, there's a borderline between freedom of speech. You can say things, but not all things can be said. In this case, you're not really crossing the border, but you're kind of hypocritical, not letting Disney Docket speak in that moment, but you can. Kind of contradicting your argument right there. Another comment that Disney Docket left on that chat a few minutes later, he says, Collection TV and I are good friends now, despite our disagreements in the past. And now I'm going to show you the response that Piston Cup Productions gave to that comment.
Collection TV and I are good friends now, despite our disagreements in the past. What disagreements? You guys are literally... Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a huge lie. Again. Huge lie.
He claims that what Disney Docket, said was a lie, saying that the disagreements in the past between Collection TV and him, that was a lie. To me, I don't think that was a lie, because that was real. That actually happened. I forget when, but I brought this up in the phone call with you, Piston Cup Productions, when we had that chat. This was like a few years ago, I believe. RC Cars 5, his name at the time, and Collection TV were collabing at Disney World or some place, Disney theme park, and I believe they had a disagreement on that trip, and they broke up at that time, but at some point they must have gone back together. So you not knowing about it doesn't make it a lie. It just doesn't show you have full knowledge of that situation. So you don't truly have the right to say he's lying about that if you don't really have the information to back that up. I did. And then farther into the video, Little Harky sends DMs proving that Disney Docket lies, which I'm very surprised Little Harky was on Piston Cup Production side. There's nothing wrong about that. You can have any side you want, but I was very surprised that he was on Piston Production side, because I thought Little Harky and Disney Docket were friends. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, maybe something happened between them. I don't really know, but I was pretty surprised that Little Harky was against Disney Docket. But in the DMs, they didn't really mention much about him lying. Also, back to the collect multiple cars thing. He's been doing that for a long time. He's been doing that for like 3 years, I think, buying multiple cars in the same packaging. And it's kind of strange that they weren't doing that. They weren't complaining complaining about it back then, but now since the situation's happening, it's become a big deal. So yeah, the DMs were, in my opinion, they didn't really prove that he was lying. It was surprising that they had that RC Cars 5 claim they were photoshopped. That may be possible, but we honestly don't know. They look real to me. And this person named Aaron's World of Cars said this in the chat farther down the line. He said, guys, all of this needs to stop. Yes, RC did lie or didn't. We are all overreacting over this. Let's just enjoy collecting together. So what if he keeps the cars in the packaging and buys multiples? And I stand with this comment. Like, mostly everyone in there was overreacting way too much, way above the level. And yeah, so what? So what if he buys multiple cars and keeps them in the packaging? It's not hurting anyone. So why go down and punish him for it? And another part of the stream, Collection TV chimed in, and he gave us this. RC is wrong in how he despited me calling him a monster, though I did. And PCP is wrong to say I never called him one. I think you both need to apologize no matter what the other person says. So basically what Collection is saying here is that it was wrong for RC Cars 5 for the actions he did to him. So basically Collection TV here basically concludes that he did call RC Cars 5 a monster, and that may have caused the breakup in that time period that Piston Cup Productions calls a lie. And in that stream, in both the streams, Piston Cup Productions did mention that he would not lie, he would give the full truth, but this comment right here kind of goes against that again. You lied about saying that Collection TV did nothing wrong, RC Cars 5 just fired at him, and that caused a bad reaction. But this comment is saying, hey, I did call him a monster, and Piston Cup Productions is wrong to say that I didn't do that. Yeah, so that's basically everything that happened in stream, and next thing will be the apology. Okay, so we're going to talk about the apology now, and first off, I'm going to show you the apology that PCP gave to Disney Docket, and then I'll give you my thoughts about it.
Disney Docket. No longer RC Cars 5. No longer RC5 Disney Docket. I am sorry for everything I have done. I might have hated on you, maybe even harassed you, and other things. But I promise, and I promise to God, that I will never ever bully you or anything ever again. And I hope you can accept my offer and we can all be friends again like we once were back in the early 2018 of January and February. And I hope all of this that is happening right now will never ever happen again. I am stating my offer, Disney Cars fan. My offer is we settle peace, everything goes back to normal, and we all become friends again. We all subscribe to each other again. We're all united as one, and we make the Cars community whole again, because it's split up into two, and I've decided that we need to stick it back into one.
Okay, so that was basically the apology, and I gotta say, it was a good apology. I liked it. He says I might have harassed, so now he's coming around saying, yeah, I might have done it, which is good. It's a good day to see, and he's like kind of owning up. he said that he won't bully him, he won't do anything to him ever again, and that's pretty nice. That's pretty sincere. I like that a lot. I've written some apology messages to people in the past, to people that I've wasn't the nicest to, and at the end, and one of them I did mention I wouldn't do that again. I'm sorry for my actions, all that stuff. So we all have to apologize like that sometime or some point in our lives, and I like that we finally are able to say that this argument, this battle between Piston Cup Productions and Disney Docket is done, and it's at rest, and it's good. And last but not least, conclusion. We're just going to wrap up everything that happened last night or so. So let's go back to the beginning and just shoot through it very quickly. So in the beginning, PCP accuses Disney Docket of lying, manipulating, and not being happy with him buying too many cars. He talks about that on live stream. In the live stream, people were not that nice. They weren't very that respectful. They weren't treating it as it should have been treated, as a perfect, mature way. People weren't doing it nicely. There were some people who did it nicely and participated respectfully, but there were a lot of people that were like saying insults and stuff, which I did not like whatsoever. The apology was amazing. I liked it. He owned up, well, not exactly owned up, but he realized that he may have done some of the things that RC or no, Disney Docket has said to him. Yeah, that's basically it. So again, I'm happy that this is all over. We can rest, and we don't have to be worried about this anymore. And I hope that Disney Docket and Piston Cup Productions are able to collab in the future, because since they're on equal sides now and they're done, they're finished, they're happy with each other now, hopefully they get a collab in the future or do something together. So yeah, that's basically it. And if I sounded like I was targeting Piston Cup Productions saying he was wrong at every statement, no, he wasn't wrong. If it sounded like I was targeting him specifically, I wasn't. I don't hate him. He's actually a friend of mine. So hopefully, PCP, if you're watching this, you liked it. So anyways, guys, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time with a normal original video. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.